A trip I'll never forget. I'm a carpenter for a construction firm. I mainly do framing for commercial buildings. I've done it for 20 years. I've done it for so long, it's become pretty routine and, well, a little boring. I always come home exhausted. My wife, Sue, is a receptionist for a well-known psychiatrist. We've been married for 15 years. We don't have any kids, and we don't plan on having any. We live in a suburb in North Georgia, about 30 miles from Atlanta. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath ranch house. It's got a small front yard and a huge backyard, mainly for the dog. Our neighbors are very friendly, and we very much love where we live. It was a pretty normal Monday night. I got home from work, kissed my wife, petted the dog, and sat down to watch some TV and have some dinner. Sue made my favorite, meatloaf and mashed potatoes. I was starving, so I eagerly wolfed it down. After getting a full belly, I relaxed and popped out the footrest on my recliner. Then I dozed off. Sue asked, "Are you ready to go to bed?" "Yes." So we turned everything off and headed off to the bedroom. It started raining outside. I could hear the rain hitting the bay window in the bedroom. It was so relaxing. I drifted off almost immediately. I started dreaming. The dream was pretty typical of the ones I can remember. I was at the work site cutting 2x4s. A coworker came over to help with carrying the cut lumber to the area where we were framing. On his way, he tripped over some debris and fell. The wood crashed to the ground. He was okay, just a little embarrassed. As the dream progressed, I felt like the scenes were changing rapidly, like I was being pulled from one scene to the next. Lots of things were going on, and it was hard to keep up. I went from being at work to sitting at home to surfing in Hawaii to participating in a mosh pit at a heavy metal concert. The next thing I knew, Sue was frantically trying to wake me. Stan, wake up! You're dreaming," she implored. I woke up confused, excited, and in a little bit of a fog. She said I was kicking and thrashing and shouting. I told her what I was dreaming about. She kind of giggled and said, "Well, that makes sense based on your actions." I went back to sleep and didn't think much more about it. The next day, I went to work and everything was normal. I came home, had dinner, watched TV, and went to sleep. I started dreaming again. This time, much more vivid, like a high-def dream. I could see, hear, smell, taste, and touch everything like it was real. It was mind-blowing. I've never had dreams so lifelike. I felt like my whole body was tingling. I was flying over our subdivision, and I noticed an ambulance with its lights on at a neighbor's house. I floated down to investigate. It was Bill's house. As I floated into Bill's bedroom, I saw the EMTs pull the sheet over Bill's face. He must have died. Bill's wife had her face in her hands, crying in the living room. I flew home and back into my body. The next day, I was thinking, oh, It was just a dream. But I went to Bill's house just for shits and giggles. His wife, Alice, answered the door. I said, "Hey, Alice, how's it going? Is Bill around? I need to ask him something." She slowly looked at the ground and started sobbing. "I'm sorry. He died last night of a heart attack." What? I couldn't believe it. That was what I dreamt about last night. What a coincidence. Or was it? I went to work and the normal routine played out. When I got home, I told Sue about my dream and Bill. She said, "There could be something much bigger going on here." I said, "What are you talking about?" "Astral projection or lucid dreaming. Remember, I work for a shrink." "What's the difference?" I asked. "Lucid dreaming is a dream where the person dreaming becomes aware, lucid, that they are dreaming. A lucid dreamer has control over everything. They can have superpowers or do anything just by thinking it. But you do not have a sense of taste, smell, or touch. And you can't look at yourself because you're actually dreaming. Astral projection is an out-of-body experience. You consciously separate yourself from your physical body and enter the astral plane. Your mind is awake, but your body is asleep. If you're watching yourself sleep in the bed, that's astral projection. If you see text in your dream but can't read it because it looks like gibberish, that's a lucid dream. If other characters are interacting with you, that's astral projection. If during your dream you can see, hear, touch, taste, or smell the environment, that's astral projection." Okay, so it seems like I was doing astral projection based on that info. I was fascinated, so I went to research it some more. I dove down the rabbit hole head first. Astral projection usually takes a lot of practice to master, but some people are able to do it naturally. I asked Sue to ask her boss for a recommendation for a coach. She came back with 2 names and phone numbers to check. I called the first one. It went to voicemail. I left a message and tried the other number. Someone answered. I asked to speak with the name of the person I was given. They said, "One moment," and put me on hold. A minute or so later, someone picked up. "This is Dr. Shaw. How can I help you? I'm interested in learning about astral projection. Can you help me?" "Absolutely. Why do you want to astral project?" I told him what happened the other night with Bill. The doc said, "Did you see or talk to Bill after he died?" "No. He was probably there. You just didn't see him." This is starting to get weird. The doc gave me some exercises to work on to try to fine-tune the experience. That night, I tried them out. The idea was to consciously stay awake while my body went to sleep, very similar to meditation. I got comfortable, but not too comfortable, and started my breathing exercises. It didn't take very long, and I felt that familiar tingling sensation. I felt myself lifting up and heard a faint buzzing sound. I pictured a rope hanging down from the ceiling. I envisioned myself reaching up and grabbing the rope and pulling myself up. I reached up with my other hand and pulled again, sort of like climbing a rope in a gym class. In a few minutes, I felt my astral self pulling away from my physical self. It felt weird, but oddly natural. Like learning to walk or ride a bike. As I felt myself leaving my physical body, I looked back at myself. I was laying down, but not snoring, so not asleep. I could see a silver-looking cord connecting me to my body. I continued to float up. I went through the roof. Amazed, I wanted to see how high I could go. I pictured myself flying up. Suddenly, I started rapidly flying up. I comically took a Superman position and quickly rose. In a few short seconds, I was very high, almost in orbit. I decided to keep going. I went further into space. I passed the moon, Mars, Jupiter, and made it to the outskirts of the solar system. "This is crazy," I said to myself. I looked back and saw the silver cord going back to Earth. I wondered if I could see an alien, so I took a different approach. I thought about the little gray aliens, like the ones in Close Encounters from the Third Kind. As I did, I was instantly on what I could only describe as a spaceship. It reminded me of Star Trek. As I walked down the hallway, I saw a team of grays coming my way. I telepathically said hello. They said hello back. So awesome! I just said hello to an alien. I wanted to see what the bridge looked like, so I thought, go to the bridge of the ship. Instantly, I was standing in a big room with several grays. They were at different terminals, pushing buttons and looking at display screens. Wow, this is incredible! One of them came up to me and asked if I wanted to join them on their journey. I, of course, said yes. They said that I would need to dissolve my silver cord. I didn't want to do that. Doing that would mean I can't go back and would be stuck in this plane of existence. Basically, I would be dead. I told them no, I have to finish my life on Earth. They said okay, but that I need to leave now. The next thing I know, I was hovering over Earth again, like the space station or a satellite. A little shaken up over the whole experience, I decided to go back home. I thought of myself lying in my bed. I was slowly lowering myself back into my body. As I did, I felt my body twitch. I quickly sat up and looked around the room. I was back. What a trip! Literally. I excitedly told Sue about my experience. She was impressed, but very groggy. I mean, it was 2:30 in the morning after all. To me, it seemed like I was gone for days. Encouraged by my success, I wanted to do it again, but I needed to get some sleep. I have to work tomorrow morning. I laid down and relaxed. I was almost asleep, which was pretty hard considering what I just witnessed, when I felt a dark energy in the room. I sat up in bed outside of my body. I was astral projecting and wasn't even trying. I thought, cool, I'm really getting the hang of this. When out of nowhere, I felt something tap on my shoulder 3 times. Like someone trying to get my attention. I was afraid to turn around. I was told many times by instructors not to acknowledge negative entities. It tapped on my shoulder again, a little more aggressively this time. I decided to ignore it the best I could and go back to sleep. I laid down and tried to relax. As I almost dozed off, I sensed the dark entity again. I was awake, but kept my eyes closed. Then, something started pulling me out of my body. My astral self started lifting up and out of my body. Freaked out, I had no choice but to open my eyes to break the trance. When I did, I saw a huge black mass hovering over me. I tried moving my arms, but couldn't. I tried kicking it, but my legs felt glued to the mattress. I wanted to scream, but my mouth wouldn't open. What the fuck is going on? Trying not to panic and starting to fail a little, I thought of what my instructor told me to do if I encounter a dark being. Dark entities get high off of fear. It's like sex to them. Just know that they cannot hurt you unless you allow them to. Concentrate on raising your vibration level. Show them no fear. Tell them convincingly that you are not afraid of them. They don't belong here and they need to leave now. Then ignore them completely. I focused on my vibration. I could feel it getting stronger. I said, "You do not scare me. You are to leave my room now. You do not belong here." The dark entity vanished. Sue woke up and said, "Oh, did you say something?" "No, hon, just a bad dream." I finally got to sleep. I have astral projected several times since then, and I even got Sue to try it. We started out doing it together. She was a little nervous about it. I really enjoyed exploring the cosmos with my wife. It brought us closer together. I did tell her what to do if she encountered a dark entity, but I didn't tell her I had a confrontation with one. I didn't want to scare her away from astral projecting with me, except we did eventually run into several all at once. We were checking out a planet in a different galaxy that was very much like Earth. We were absorbing the atmosphere, the people, and the culture. Sue saw several dark blotches in the trees. She asked if I saw them. I felt their presence, looked where she was pointing, and said yes. I told her, "Those are the dark entities I told you about." They started getting closer to us. "Remember, they can't harm you unless you let them, so don't show fear," I reminded her. They continued to close in on us. They got right in front of us. I could feel them and smell them. It looked like there was 4 of them. I was fine, relaxed, poised, and ready for a celestial battle. Sue, on the other hand, was nervous, anxious, and panicky. I said, "Sue, focus on your vibration level. I need you to raise your vibration level. Come on, you can do it. They won't fuck with you if you have a higher vibration level." She closed her eyes and started concentrating. I held her hand and I did the same. Our combination must have done the trick. The putrid smell went away. I could feel they were leaving. I opened my eyes and they were gone. "We did it, baby. They're gone. Fantastic job." She looked very drained, so I told her, "Let's go back." We pictured ourselves lying in bed, and there we were. We still astral project together from time to time, but I often project solo. Still, it brought us closer together as a couple, and at a higher level.